The Eagles win. The Eagles win. The Eagles win. Eagles win. Monday Night Football. We're here to break it all down. Trending in the AM on Philadelphia Sports Network. We're live. 30 seconds. And a very good morning, everybody, and welcome to Trending in the AM right here on Philadelphia Sports Network. We're live. Facebook, YouTube, you know the drill. Like, share, subscribe, follow, notifications turned on. It's the same drill every single morning, guys and girls. Let's get this done. Let's get the good word out, Trending in the AM, where your opinion actually matters. I'm your host, Phil Stiefel, on this day after Monday Night Football victory for our Philadelphia Eagles, because yes, Eagles win, Eagles win, Eagles win. Let's go. Good morning, Zach. Go Birds is right. Wake bright and early after the late night game. Go. What's up, K1? Big, big win for the Philadelphia Eagles last night. And I got a lot of mixed emotions to get through today because of the game. It was a victory. A victory is a victory. I just don't know how to break down last night's game. There was so much great. There were a few little negative things. I still want to see this Eagles team clean up and fix up. But a win's a win in the NFL, and that's what I like. Victory Tuesday feels good. That's right. Eagles win. Now let the Hurts criticism begin. Now, I don't know if I'm going to criticize Hurts, so to say. I think there was a lot of positive after last night's game. Without a shadow of a doubt, a lot of positive. But I don't know if it was a complete blowout by the Eagles. I don't know whether to say the Buccaneers are a good team and put up a good fight. See that this Eagles team is still not performing on all cylinders yet, and we beat a good Buccaneers team, or were the Bucs just a bad team and we just coasted to the victory? I'm not really sure how to feel reaction-wise from last night's game. What's up, man, Chatter? How you doing? I told you we were gonna boat race those. What did we really boat race them though? 25-11. It sounds like a blowout. It was a comfort. Even when we were up 3-0, I never felt like it was a close game. I felt like we were ahead of them the entire time, not just score wise, talent wise. But yet, it was still not a crisp game from the Eagles, especially offensively. So I felt like at any moment the Bucs could still get back into it. I will take my props now. I don't know if 25-11 is a complete boat race. Just saying. The Eagles kept it way too close, so it's down to you, Phil, to go to bat for us. Look, I think it felt closer than it was, but it also felt like we were never losing. I get a really weird vibe after last night's game. Like I don't know how to feel. Like does last night's game make you feel any better going against the Dolphins or the 49ers or the Chiefs? Or does it leave more room for question? And that's where I'm at with this game right now. That game was never close. It wasn't close, but yet it was. I don't know. I've got strange. I'm happy. I'm excited. There is so much positive to take away from last night's game. I want to focus on the positives for sure. I swear to the Eagles fan base, who complains about? I'm not complaining. We're discussing. We're going to break it down. But we are one of only 3 teams that are 3-0, and that is fantastic at this point. And it's right here, Nick. Spot on. That Eagles defense. That was one of the best defensive performances I've seen in a while from the Eagles defense. I mean, the Buccaneers are a game team. The Buccaneers are a very solid squad, well-coached team. That defensive performance from the Eagles, you can't complain about anybody on that defense. The front 4 did their job. The secondary held Mike Evans and Chris Godwin in check. Reed Blankenship, Sidney Brown made plays. Nicholas Morrow again. Fantastic. Fantastic performance from that defense last night. We couldn't have scored so many more. We could have scored so many points. The red zone offense needs serious improvement. Yeah, the red zone offense was definitely a struggle at times. A.J. Brown dropped 2 touchdowns, killed my parlays. Killed my parlays, those touchdown drops. I had A.J. Brown touchdown score in every one of my parlays last night. He had a great game, got back into it, but dropped 2 touchdowns, killing my vibe. AJ Brown, Victory Tuesday. That is right. It just feels weird saying Victory Tuesday, doesn't it? But I will say, I do love the fact that the game started 7:15 and was over by 8 o'clock. That was fantastic. I'm not trying to be negative. I was trying to bring a different spin. I'm excited. I'm pumped just like everybody else. Don't worry, I'm not being Negatron. I am not. There is definitely room for improvement after last night. I will just keep pushing that button. Definitely room for improvement after last night. Fly, Eagles, fly. That's the problem. Phil missed his parlay. Yes, I missed every freaking parlay across the board since Sunday. Every single one of them. I'm like 0 for 7 this week on bets. This was probably my worst football betting week of the last 5, 10 years. I'm grumpy on that for sure. I bet if we win the Super Bowl by that score, we would be questioning how we would look next year. Now, stop. We win the Super Bowl. I'll be doing cartwheels on this show. Look, I'm not trying to be negative. I just want people to look at last night's game for what it was. It was a great win on Monday Night Football in visitors' territory. That was a home game in Tampa for the Eagles. Fantastic across the board. Room for improvement, though. That's the point of the show. There is still room for improvement. But let's get to the good from last night. The Eagles are a victim of circumstance. The weather, the flu, the lack. Dude, Peanut. What about the schedule? The victim of the schedule too. Now they go on another short week. 2 of the last 4 weeks we've had short work weeks, and we're still finding ways to win. That's all that matters. The weather last night got crazy. I want to give props because you say right here the flu. Peanut. I want to give props to the Eagles for keeping that flu stuff under wraps of Jalen Hurts till halftime. Till Adam Schefter mentioned it at halftime, no one even knew. Not one of the Eagles beat reporters knew that Jalen Hurts had the flu. Nobody. Nobody. It's crazy. Bench AJ. He blew our parlays. Basically, yes. Damn. AJ cost me a lot of money. I had quite a few parlays going last night, and every leg hit of every one except for the AJ Brown touchdown. Pissed me off so bad. Zachulis is a Philly guy. I did not know that. Yeah, he's another Philly guy. He went to St. Joe's Prep as well, just like DeAndre Swift. Big touchdown. And that's what you brought Zachulis here to make deep catches. I think last night's touchdown was 30 some yards, but I know coming into this year, every year of his career, he's got at least 140 or 45-yard or longer touchdown. So Zachulis had I learned how to say his name. Alamide Zachulis. I think I'm saying it right finally. So it was a good catch for a big touchdown. Wes Watkins better get healthy, or he's going to lose that spot, number 3 spot. I hit my 3-leg Eagles parlay. Well, congratulations to you. Thanks a lot for nothing. Cut Goddard this offseason since he hasn't made a difference this year. Martha, stop. 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 Goddard actually got robbed on a couple bad calls from the refs. I know there weren't a lot of penalties called last night game, but there were a lot of mistakes. I remember one catch that Goddard had specifically where they ruled him short of a first down. He was clearly a yard past the first down marker. It didn't matter in the end, but it was still kind of annoying how poorly the refs ref the game last night. Overall, Commanders are going to be a problem. The enemy was the coordinator for Kansas City and put up series numbers. Well, I don't know, Mister, if you saw the game against Buffalo from Washington. If our defense shows up to play like they did last night, Washington is not going to be a problem. Baker Mayfield is a better quarterback than Sam Howell. I'm just going to say it right now. We'll see. But early lean, first 1 o'clock game, I'm leading to a Commanders getting smoked by the Eagles. That's the early feeling. The last offensive drive, we had the ball 9:22 to seal the game. That was that last drive, Bobby. Thanks for checking in. Fantastic. Just run the clock out. Just run. Pass for the first down. Run. Milk the clock. Got to get into the snap counts and the usage of each player and stuff like that in a little bit. We're just doing initial reactions right now, but it was great to be able to just milk the clock that final drive and never give the ball back to Tampa. When you're one of the best, you get primetime schedule. I know, man, chatter. We've only got 2, I think, 1 o'clock games on the schedule this year, and that breaks my heart because I love 1 o'clock games. Thinking about doing a live stream next week, like a watch along party. I don't know. I got to check my plans. Might do a watch along party for next week's Washington game. Thinking about it. All Washington always hangs a win on undefeated teams. Yeah, we'll see. It's a different Washington team this year for sure. The power rankings: Bills, Chiefs, Dolphins, Eagles. How can you put the Chiefs ahead of them? How can you put the Bills at one? You're a numb nut. Yeah, not agreeing with that. Sam Howell will throw another 4 picks against us. It's very possible. Our defense. I mean, last night. Let's let's just let's just think about how great that defense was last night. Jordan Davis, a monster. Jalen Carter. I mean that tandem in the middle there. It's unbelievable. Nicholas Morrow. Those cornerbacks played well last night. I mean, keeping Mike Evans to 60 some yards. Chris Godwin is the first time he hasn't had 5 catches in a game in like 5 years. You shut that team down. Now, some of it was because they didn't have the ball much, because our offense was able to run the clock and ball control 40 minutes to 20 minutes. Part of that was because Baker Mayfield, is an average quarterback at best. Part of that is because they choose to keep running the ball, even though they knew they couldn't run the ball. Talk about a team committed to running the ball. You can't run the ball and you stay committed to it. Zacchaeus. Yeah, that's what I said, isn't it? Oh no, Zacchaeus. I said actually Zacchaeus. I thought I had it right. Damn it. Olamide Zacchaeus. I thought I had it right. Obviously, I did not. If you're only above average, then yeah, 3-0, you're great. But if you're shooting for Super Bowl champs, there are issues. We got a lot less issues than Buffalo has. We'll just say that. What's up, Daniel? Both tight ends had some back-breaking drops. There were drops for both teams last night. The weather could have played a factor in that as well. It did about halfway through the second quarter start to rain pretty hard, off and on throughout the game. So the drops could have came from that a little bit. Somebody laughing at this post. Herb Daniels. Why are we laughing? We're laughing hopefully at the victory and how easy it was. When are we going to see Aqua? I don't know. When are we going to see Alberto? Because let's be honest, you traded for him and you haven't dressed him. I know he's got to learn the playbook and stuff, but Calcaterra ain't doing nothing. You only dressing sometimes 4 wide receivers. You might as well give him a chance. Baker's terrible. Baker's better than Sam Howell. We'll leave it at that. That was my play on benching AJ. Cut Goddard. Yeah, come on now. How uninterested did Evans look last night? Besides that one drive, he didn't even look like he wanted to be there. Didn't he want a contract extension and he didn't get it? I think I saw a few signs in the stands of pay this guy. So yeah, he might be checked out on this team. He might know. It's funny because I do think the Buccaneers could be a solid borderline playoff team. Their defense is good. They make plays on the ball. They have 2 great wide receivers. They got an okay quarterback. It's crazy. Mike Evans is already checked out on his team, and they're 2-1. So, Aqua Bowman, you guys, I love you guys, man. You never let anything slide. We cannot be overconfident. We must prepare for Washington. They gave us our first L last year. They did, Daniel. They did, and I get that. Just from what I saw of our defense last night, I don't even care about the offense. What I saw of our Eagles defense last night compared to what I saw from Washington on Sunday, our defense will have a field day against Sam Howell and that Washington. Now Washington's defense is very good as well. They got a strong front four, obviously one of the best in the league. But right now, early lean. Now, it's not Friday yet, but early lean. It's going to be a big win for the Eagles. I can tell you positive. I thought your running back situation was bad. Well, DeAndre Swift, whew, man, we're getting to that in a second. Blankenship and secondary better than I thought. They played very well last night. Beard stream, let's go. Hit that like button, people. You got 20 people watching, only 12 likes on YouTube so far. Let's go. Sidney Brown ripping away that touchdown. Did Sidney Brown get hurt too? Because that happened. So there's a 15-minute drive home from the pizza shop to home. In that first quarter. I think I heard Merle Reese call that play, and then I never heard him again. I think I heard that Sidney Brown was ruled out. But yeah, Sidney Brown made a big play there. Somebody else made a big play in the secondary. There are a lot of big plays in the secondary, not counting Reed Blankenship. Reed Blankenship. I mean, the fact that less than a year ago we didn't know if he would even be an NFL player is insane. And Sidney Brown, Reed Blankenship, that is your safety tandem of the future on this team. Fantastic. In all seriousness, Jalen had 2 picks, but let's not act like he didn't have big time throws. I'm actually this. I'm normally, because I'm such a big Jalen Hurts supporter. I tend to be more critical of him than most because I want him to prove me right being this elite quarterback. The first interception, that's just one of those miscommunications, something we've talked about since the offseason. Communication, new players, new coordinators was going to be an issue. That was just communication, that first one. That second interception, that was a hell of a play. It was a bad throw to an extent. It looked like double coverage. It wasn't really at first. It was an underthrown ball. I don't think anybody talked about the fact that he underthrew a couple deep balls last night. And that second interception was an underthrown deep ball. If he throws it more to the back corner of the end zone where only Devontae Smith can get it, it might be different. But it worked out in our favor because it was third down and long. You know, you pin them inside the one, we get the safety, and that's that. So I'm not too concerned about the two interceptions last night. One of the earlier interceptions, I forget whether it was week 1 or week 2, was a bad read and a bad throw. That interceptions last night, that wasn't really that was just part of the game. Blankenship made up for his ugly missed tackle. Yeah, Blankenship played really well last night. Everybody misses tackles. Aggressive safeties are always going to miss tackles as long as they don't come back to bite us in the end. But he played extremely, extremely well last night. I would join that watch party, but I'll miss most of the Eagles game due to being on Falcons Jaguars. Gotcha. I'm considering a watch party. I'll set up a stream. I just got to figure out the logistics and if we have plans or not, and if I can really stream for 3.5 hours. I don't want to pull a Liam and have to take potty breaks in the middle of the stream. If I'm doing a whole game, I might have to. Um, might have to get some man pens out for that one. Liam, we owe Washington a good beating after them ending our undefeated streak. Yeah, Bobby, I agree. And there's a big difference in class between Washington and Philly, and I know they're division rivals. Those games are always close, but I am not worried at this early moment after how I feel after last night's game about Washington one bit. We all owe Nicholas Morrow. Let's not even call him Nick. He's not Nicky. He's not Nick. He's Nicholas Morrow. He deserves his full name pronounced after last night. Look, I was wrong on him. I said he didn't deserve to make this team. I didn't even want him on the practice squad. And he stepped up, and this is a very small sample size, Judd. And I don't want to sound, um, whatever, but he's played better in his small sample size than Nakobe Dean did in his small sample size. That's all I'm going to say there. I'm not saying I want to bench Nakobe Dean when he comes back, but Nicholas Morrow's going to have to stay on this roster. And if Nakobe Dean has a couple bad games, you've got Nicholas Morrow ready to go in the back. And everybody loves calling him Ed Reed Blankenship. So Chew is Chewbacca's brother. Well, he's a little quicker than Chewbacca, I think. Those are TMC's power rankings. It's appetizer into my power rankings will be out later today. I've already started thinking about him. I have. Mike Evans dropped a lot of balls. He had 10 targets, only 5 catches. And it wasn't even like we had great there's some of them were overthrows, some of them were the weather, some of them are a lot of different things there. But it is what it is. The wide receiver with weird last name is Rocket. Zacchaeus is a rocket. Despite the picks and flu, Jalen looked. Yeah, I mean, considering he played with the flu last night, guys. I mean, just think about that. Much better, like himself in this game, hung in the pocket well. Yeah, he took some big shots in the pocket too. We definitely have to continue the pass protection conversation this week. For as great of a run blocking team as we are, and as great as Jeff Stoutland has this team run blocking, the pass blocking is not good. Eagles undefeated. And look, at the end of your thing here, Dallas losing the Cardinals, us beating the Buccaneers, it's icing on the cake, man. It was a great weekend for Philadelphia. Now we just need the Phillies to lock up that number 1 wild card spot tonight, and this is all cake. Game should have been closer. Evans dropped that touchdown catch. He dropped a few that exactly. I tried to be reasonable instead of like over the top to start the show, Daniel, and say it could have gone a lot differently last night. There's still work to be done. There's still more to, but playing again a B level performance last night overall. A+ defense, B on offense maybe. We're still not firing on offense, which just says that we could be that much better once we start clicking. But Jalen Hurts did show glimpses with the flu of last year's Jalen Hurts. He definitely showed major progress last night. Sidney Brown needs more time to develop. Was 2 great wide receivers. Yeah, Can you guys update me? I thought I heard that Sidney Brown got hurt last night, but then I didn't see anything online, so I'm not sure. Sidney Brown got banged up. Mike Evans has 1,000 yards every year since he entered the league. Pay that man. I agree. Mike Evans to me is one of the most underrated wide receivers in the NFL in the last 20 years. He's a top 10 guy, does not get top 10 guy credit whatsoever. Uh, all of y'all was ready to give up on Covey. Yeah, I was ready to give up on Covey too. Britton Covey, great name, Mister. Had a hell of a game last night. His 3 punt returns and his punt kick return, whatever you want to call it, after the safety. Um, guy made the guys. I still get so scared watching him get hit. Like the guy's like 5'2" and a buck 20. I'm scared every time he takes a hit. But the guy, man, he's starting to find lanes. He's starting to get confident. On the flip side, Devin Allen on his 1 kick return looked scared as hell. So look, it was a great night for Britton Covey as well. Britton Covey even got in on offense. I got snap counts up here. Britton Covey saw the offense for 4 plays last night. That's 4 plays. I didn't expect to see him in there. Brown, Morrow, and Cunningham are the unsung heroes of our defense. Yeah, last night for sure. And Morrow and Cunningham have been the unsung hero for our defenses the last 2 weeks. Both of them, for as questionable as the linebacker core has been, if Nakobe Dean can come back healthy, Howie does not need to address linebacker because you've got 3 guys there, Morrow, Cunningham, and Nakobe Dean, all that can play well and all can start. Keep in mind, Bills have a top defense, better than the top Jets. Um, well, I kind of think the Eagles have a top defense too after last night's performance. And if you don't think that Eagles defense is scary and a top defense in the league, I don't know what to tell you because that performance from the defense last night was unbelievable. You held the Commanders, okay? Hold on 1 second here. You held the Commanders to under 200 yards of offense last night. Do you realize that? Under 200 yards of offense. 41 rushing yards and 133 passing yards. That is when you hold an NFL team to under 200 yards, that is dominant. Dude, Detroit, how do we only give up a 4th for Swift? Man, Detroit, we've robbed Detroit twice now. First, they give us Darius Slay for a 3rd and a 5th. Then they give us DeAndre Swift for a 4th. I know they beat us in the Golden Tate trade, but come on now. That was we dominate Detroit in the trade market like that. Crash test Covey took the airbags out last night. He took some hits, but he had some great returns, man. Great returns last night. I had the Bucks wide receivers caught some of those passes, and this game would be a lot closer. Very possible. Harry Roseman is special. He's special for sure. What is up, Adam? How you doing? Covey was so fun to watch. First, he like. Does anybody would anybody be surprised after last night if Britton Covey now breaks one at some point in the coming weeks if he breaks a punt return? I mean, it would be really great to see, and it would be a great end of the story. Not end of the story, but great part of the story there with Britton Covey. Good quarterbacks get going right about now. Look for Hurts and Allen to ramp it up. Absolutely. Absolutely agree. The rust is starting to wear off now. There was no point in throwing that 50-yard bomb up 23. Terrible throw by Jalen and terrible play call. Yeah, it was a terrible throw, but I don't think it was the wrong decision in the sense where if he throws that a little deeper into the back of the end zone, then it doesn't get picked. So the choice to run that play and throw it, maybe, but it was more the poor execution, in my opinion. Um, that second interception was an insane play. Exactly. It was a bad choice, bad execution of it. But it was just a great interception. That gets caught 1 out of every 10 times. Did Sirianni take over play calling? It's something I'm trying to get to the bottom of. Ron Jaworski mentioned it in. I was waiting for the Sirianni press conference on NBC, and Jaws said on the postgame panel that he saw Sirianni take over for several drives, the play calling. None of the reporters asked about it. I put it in the Philadelphia Sports Network group chat, and they say that it happens a lot more than we realize, and that's been talked about. That Nick Sirianni from time to time will, in the middle of a game, take over play calling. I'm really interested in digging deeper into that and finding out more, Adam. When I have more information on it, we'll discuss it more. Because if it's as frequent as we think there, as I've been told, then maybe it's no big deal. But I kind of felt like it was just a spur of the moment thing. So I don't know. I have to dig deeper. Cowboys and commies got exposed for frauds they are. Exactly. Eric, go Birds. And the Phil. We're here. We're here for you every single day. I'm down to join the watch party with you. I might be a little slow. Well, if I do a watch party, I'll be slurry as well. So people have to understand I'll be cracking beers throughout it. Them Brits have frail yeah, dude. Did I catch him skipping out on his stream 3 times last night? Seriously? Seriously? The breakfast show, the potty break pre-show. Exactly. Come on, Liam. Gotta be better than that. Yeah, what's the old Saturday Night Live skit? Oops, I crapped my pants. Diapers for real grown adults. Come on now. You gotta be better than that. Pass protection was really good last night. Was it? Uh, I don't know about that. Art, we got some issues with pass protection. We have issues with pass protection. We're not run protection, but pass protection. Jalen Hurts took some hits. There was pressure in the backfield a lot on pass plays last night. Suro Peta. Yeah, he wasn't bad last night. Yeah, Dickerson, I did see him walking off the field, and he looked okay. He didn't look when he left the field with I think it was Mailata, he didn't look like he was hurting too bad or anything like that. So we'll see if he's ready for Sunday. But Opeta did good. Swift is a guy I'd love for the Eagles to give a mid-year contract. 4 for 30. That's a lot for a running back. I don't know if Howie would do that. But I mean, is there any doubt that Swift is look at these snap counts and usage though. Swift is the guy. Swift is the man. Last night Swift had 130 yards, 8.1 yards a carry. Kenny Gainwell 43 yards, 3.1 yards a carry. Big difference there. But the snap count, DeAndre Swift was on the field for 43 plays, Kenny Gainwell 37. So there's only a 6-play difference between your running backs. You gotta keep feeding the ball to DeAndre Swift. Gainwell cannot run in between the tackles. Gainwell is not the same running back that DeAndre Swift is. You keep riding that. Knee contusion for Landon. Contusion, I hate the word contusion, Marshawn, because that means it could be like almost anything, and he could be back Sunday or he could be out for 6 years. Knee contusion's a tough one. Covey, man, he's doing tough SOB. That's all I'm going to say. Tough SOB. Sidney Brown left the game early with a thigh injury. All right, hopefully he's okay. Sidney Brown left the game with a thigh injury, did not return. That's what I thought. I just didn't know what it was. Do you think Covey will get any receptions on offense? I'd love to see it. I'd love to see him as his confidence keeps growing as a punt returner. And if Quez Watkins keeps missing time, give him a shot in the slot. You know, those little tiny wide receivers in the slot, if they know how to find the open zone, man, they know how to get it. And once you get him in space with his speed, you know, it's different on special teams when everybody's running right at you. Whenever the defense is all spread out, maybe he can find some room and get some big plays. I'd like to see it. I'd like to give it a shot at some point. Howie is going to trade for Daniel Hunter or Chandler Jones. We'll see. Howie never be quiet. Howie goes all in all the time, without a shadow of a doubt. Eagles are the gold standard. We don't like the word gold standard here in Philly. That was used before in Bomb. So I know you're not an Eagles fan lifer, Mad Chatter. The word gold standard, it does not get used in Philly or Dream Team. It just says Sidney Brown left with thigh injury. I'm trying to catch up on the comments here. I know we talked Sidney Brown like 2 minutes ago, but I got a lot of comments to catch up here. Zach, Cowboys lost the XFL roster. Man, it makes it so much better. Sooner than later, he's going to take one to the house. I really think Britton Covey will bust one at some point. Reagor was the last time we had a punt return for a touchdown. Reagor had a punt return for a touchdown? Sorry if I don't remember that one at all. It's wild. Like, I don't remember it at all. Feels like a dream. Feels like it was years ago. It couldn't have been that long ago, though. Yeah, no, it couldn't have been. He just left. The second INT was just an arm punt that ended up being a blessing. Exactly. But also, it's not just that it was an arm punt. It was that the double team wasn't there when he threw the ball. And Jalen just was short on that throw. He came up a couple times last night. There was that one. There was one when Kenny Gainwell had a one-on-one coverage with a linebacker down the sideline and had separation. He underthrew that ball. There was at least 3 deep balls that were underthrown last night that I saw from Jalen Hurts. That may have been 2020, Judd. I don't remember. Yeah, I don't remember. Tea time breaks. Is that what Liam was doing last night? Liam was doing the live stream from the Oval Office. At least he didn't do it from the Oval Office, actually. You know, and at least he didn't take his laptop with him into the what do they call it? The loo. British food is very rich. Shepherd's I love a good shepherd's pie. I make a badass shepherd's pie. I do it once a year at the pizza shop. The Kansas City Chiefs switch play calling between Andy Reid and the OC. It keeps the other team guessing. It's interesting. I just haven't noticed it. Nolan Smith and Sidney Brown. Nolan Smith had a flash. He had a big hit on Baker Mayfield on that deep ball right there. And just another wrinkle. Another wrinkle. If Nolan Smith could get going, you guys were brilliant to move on from Sanders. Oh, Howie Roseman is a brilliant man. It was really good last night. Really good compared to the last two games. Jalen did 4 seconds on that. Yeah, you're talking about the pass protection, Marshawn. I'm assuming. Um, I don't know. He still took some big hits. I still saw him get flushed out of the pocket a few too many times, and it's something that I spent time before I was on this channel when I used to do my show on the other channel. I used to talk about the fact that the pass protection's been bad for years and no one talks about it. Lane Johnson hasn't had a sack given up in years, but everybody doesn't realize the fact that Jalen helps keep some of those sacks off the board. So the pass protection issue has been an issue for a while now, but everyone just sees how great run blocking we are and how Jalen bails the offensive line out. There are issues that need to be cleaned up there. It's not perfect yet. Good to see Nolan involved last night. Absolutely. It's all your O line that made mid miles. Might be the same thing with Swift. I was thinking Sproles, but there has to been. We don't get too many punt returns in our day. If you keep throwing shade at, this will be a core 11. Peace out. Get out. Kenny Gainwell should not have 2 less touches than DeAndre Swift. DeAndre Swift should out-touch Kenny Gainwell by a lot. Now, I understand they were probably late in the game. They were probably protecting him a little bit, but still. Yeah. Josh Huff. Also, Josh Huff, man. Did Jeremy Bloom have one too? Talk about names from our past right there. We're making a trade before the trade. Absolutely. We definitely will make a trade. But as I said on yesterday's show, last night's game could go a long ways into what Howie needs to bring in. The safeties looked good. The linebackers looked good. So you could bring in depth and you might not have to overpay for somebody. The Eagles might not look as desperate when you call on Jeremy Chin. So that's important right there. More worried about losing Landon. Opeda's a huge downgrade. He is. He played okay last night. But it is Landon Dickerson's a reason why he's an all-pro already in his career. All right, it's 8:45 in the morning. We got 25 people watching. We've almost hit 30 a few times. Hit that like button. There's 15 likes on YouTube, 7 on Facebook. Helps a lot if you hit that like button. I greatly appreciate it. I wonder if the rain had something to do with the underthrow. It might have. It could have done something with the underthrows. It could have something to do with some of the drops from both teams because Evans and Brown both had a lot of drops last night. Some of the tight ends had drops for the Bucs. So it definitely had something to do with it. President Liam, I thought he was mad because I said he looked like a villain from John Wick 4. I haven't seen John Wick 4 yet. Zacchaeus isn't the fastest receiver, but he knows how to get open. He is actually one of the fastest players in the NFL. I remember reading, but I could be wrong on that. He gets a lot of. I forget the exact stat, but I know when we brought him in, somebody had posted online, one of the reporters, that every single year of his career, he's had a 40-plus yard or 45-plus yard touchdown. So he does make those big boom catches. So it's good. Against the Packers, so that's when Jalen Reagor had his punt return for a touchdown. All right. I really thought Hurts was going to get sacked on that Zacchaeus. He stood in there. A couple deep throws last night. He stood in there and took hits. He had at least 3 times he took big hits in the pocket. But it's nice to see him stay in the pocket and trust that he can get the ball down the field. Gotta love when a quarterback trusts his offensive line just to give him enough time, knows the hit's coming, stands in there, takes the hit, but delivers the throw anyway. You gotta give him credit for that without a shadow of a doubt. Got to keep Swift fresh and ready for the season. No need to run him to the ground. Absolutely. Still too many times early in the game, we went to Kenny Gainwell the first drive of the game. How about that? DeAndre Swift, the first drive of the game, dominate, marching right down the field. It's 4th and 2, and you bring in Kenneth Gainwell for his first snap. Why would you do that? And of course, Kenny Gainwell does not convert the 4th down. That made no sense right there whatsoever. That's the kind of usage issue. I have no problem using Kenny Gainwell late in the game once it's out of hand, resting your running back. But in key moments of the game, I'm not doing that. Pass protection has been bad, mediocre for years. Lions pass pro is so good, but they're not as athletic in run block. Yeah, I don't get how a team could be so great at run blocking and not even average at pass, just barely average. Yeah, we haven't even spent any time talking about Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter. We might have to, as I catch up on the comments, move on to that defensive front line, man. Because Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter, I mean, Jordan Davis was double teamed every time he was on the field, and he was still getting in the backfield and making plays. Like there was one play I remember. It was a meaningless play in the game, and Jordan Davis was nowhere near the play, and he was just standing there. He wasn't even trying, and two guys were still blocking him. And it was like, dude, they're so scared of him not committed to a play that they have to double team him. Kenny Gainwell is meh. He's very meh. Um, Yost, this man gets it. What did he say last? Let me go back here. Gotta keep Swift fresh. Yeah, I get it. I'm not it's the early part of the game that bothers me. Hunter Chandler Jones will be an Eagle. You guys are really high on Chandler Jones being an Eagle right now. How do you all like the new punter? He had one punt last night. I like when my punter only has to punt the ball once. He got it inside the 20. It was 38 yards. So that's all I want. And they had to call fair catch, which means there was good hang time. I want K1's power rankings. No, we only want my power rankings. I'll have them tomorrow. He looked good. An upgrade for sure. Yes. Jalen is a beast, double teamed, and still getting pressure and that forced fumble. Yeah, Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, no way. Oh, yeah. Guys, you'll have to share with me what this boy Dan Sills. I'm sure Dan Sills is going to crush Jalen Hurts today on his show. And again, as always, Dan Silly Man, you're welcome to sit next to me here on this show. I'm welcoming you on this show, especially when you want to say something negative about Jalen. And I will shoot you down and prove every single idiot thing you say wrong. Open forum. Open forum for you to come on this show and get proven how much of an idiot you are. We got Swift on their fantasy team. Great pickup. I have him on some of my best balls. Same with the safety. It was Carter or Davis pushing two linemen into the end zone. Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I said it before, Adam. When Boston Scott comes back from concussion, I wouldn't be surprised when they need an extra roster spot that Penny's the one that's cut. He did not see the field even on special teams last night, Adam. There's no point to him even being there last night. That and the fake tush push will cost us a game. Yeah, I mean, they're just trying something out. Tush push, proven last night that it doesn't work every time, but it still works a lot. I stayed away from the Swift with my parlays. Yeah, I would too. Um, Liam said he no longer is a Sam Howell truther. Yeah, well, I don't know why he would be to begin with. We have to continue investing in Georgia D line, and absolutely agree with you on that one. Facts. The defensive tackles are the driving force of this team right now, without a doubt. All right, we're caught up on comments. So let me hit on this here. I'm surprised Joe Buck said after the game that the Eagles were the best team in the NFC. I love that. I must have missed that. Penny is the emergency running back. Who thinks Swift will stay healthy all season? Yeah, I mean, well, that's what they got Kenny Gainwell for. But anyway, Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter. Just think about it for a second. They don't even. I mean, I got the snap counts up here on a side screen. They only played. Jalen Carter was only on the field for 21 plays. Jordan Davis 21 plays. 45% of the snaps each for them. First off, the snap percentage is hard to judge last night because the Buccaneers were only on the field for 47 offensive plays. That in and of itself talks about the Eagles' offense controlling the time of possession, but they only ran 47 plays. So when you look at the percentage, like Fletcher Cox was on the field for 68%, he only played 32 snaps last night. So there's that. But 21 snaps for Davis and 21 snaps for Carter last night. Now let me tell you something. They were involved in every single one of the plays that they were on the field for. They made tackles, they got pressure, they pushed the pocket. The Jordan Davis forced fumble. Damn. What an effort on that play. The fact that if those two can build their tolerance, I already think Jalen Carter could if needed. If Jordan Davis could get to a point where he can play 40 snaps a game, 40 out of every 70 snaps, 45 out of every 80 snaps. If Jordan Davis could get to that point, Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter might go down as the best defensive tackle tandem in NFL history. That's how talented the two of them are. But when you have both of them together, Jordan Davis is not just a first and second down run stopping D lineman. He could get after the quarterback. Jalen Carter can stop the run. Those two guys may go down as one of the most elite tandems. I said I was chatting with my man Jason Shout out Voorhees, man. Hope he's doing well. And he was trying to say that Jalen Carter was like Jerome Brown Jr. I said, no. Jalen Carter is if Jerome Brown and Reggie White had a baby, they would have spit out Jalen Carter. Those two guys, insane. Fake tush push throw is incredible. Yeah, I love that they did it. It doesn't matter that it didn't work. It was a trip, whatever. The fact that that wrinkle is thrown out there, and now that's one of the things. That's not the first time the Eagles have ran a fake on a tush push. It's not. They did it last year once or twice. They have wrinkles, and it gives the defense. Oh well, we can try to stop it, and 9 times out of 10, that's what they're going to do. But you always got to leave one guy out there just in case. It's really it was okay. It didn't work out. Um, yeah, holding any NFL team in any NFL game under 200 yards. Hold on one second. I gotta look something up here. Some of these bad games around the NFL, like the Washington Commanders getting smoked. They still had 275 yards on Sunday. Just think about that. The Titans. The Titans got to. Oh, the Titans only. The Browns only gave 120, 130 yards. Damn, that's bad. I'm trying to look at some of these other games. The Giants, who stink. Oh, they had less than 200. There were quite a few games with under 200 yards this week. It's so hard to keep a team under 200 yards. It really is. Eagles are only NFC team that can compete with the Bengals. The Bengals don't look that great. The Chiefs and Bills are getting better. The Dolphins, man, Dolphins are a scary, scary team. He almost sacked the quarterback and still turned around and forced a fumble. Guy's unreal. Guy's unbelievably unreal. Just gonna say it. Like, unbelievable. Jordan Davis. Is there a scenario in your head where Jordan Davis can get to 40 out of every 70 snaps? 45 out of 80 snaps? Can he get to that 50, 52% at some point in his career? Because if he does, he's going to be an all-pro. Jalen Carter, I think, could already do it if there wasn't such a deep rotation already. I like the OG tush push. A whole bunch of teams tried it this week. And not everyone's, not everyone was successful at doing it. The Bengals aren't it yet. Some of that might be Joe Burrow still injured. Joe Burrow hasn't practiced since last year. So there's a lot of rust on the Bengals. If he gets healthy and starts practicing, they might start to turn it around. And they beat a bad but okay Rams team, basically. I get keeping the defense honest, but how many times has that tush push not get? I think it's 3 times. Last night was the 4th time in the last 2 years that it didn't work, I think. I think that's the number. I know I saw like 29 out of 31 or 29 out of 32, something like that. So it's 98% likely to work. Give Burrow some time to get loose. I agree. I just said that. He's been hurt. He has been. I don't care about Joe Burrow. They don't hold a candle to the Eagles right now. The Bengals aren't in my top 10 of my power rankings. I guarantee you that. Yo, K1, what do you think? I got new things. I'm holding a divot repair today with a little thing that pops off. I'm trying to have different props. I also got a different pencil with a clip on it. Are these props better than the pen yesterday? But Jalen Carter, and Jordan Davis. I don't know if there's anything left to say that hasn't been said already. And like I said, we haven't even seen Nolan Smith much yet. We saw him in on one play last night get a big hit on Baker Mayfield, on a play that Baker Mayfield should probably run, which is beside the point. Let's see. He was on the field for 6 plays last night, Nolan Smith. Made a big difference on one of them. Tupelodu getting a sack last night in 8 snaps on the field. Even Derek Barnett was out there making plays or getting pressure. Bengals are not in your top 10. Why would they be? They're terrible at this point. They haven't played well yet. That's the same solid prop work. Yeah, dude, I'm trying to. I was digging through my drawer, but I kind of forgot about it. So, I figured I'd bring something new to the table today. Try to mix it up for you, mixing it up. But I still always want to go back to my pen. But I just like the clip. I like to do things like that. That's why I keep doing this with the thing here. Anyway, guys, it's almost 9:00 here, trending in the AM. We're 45 minutes in the show because I did go 5 minutes early for you guys today. So we got 23 people watching right now. Make sure you're hitting that like button, whether you're watching on YouTube or Facebook. Make sure you're hitting that share button. It's free to do. It's free to hit that subscribe button. It's free to turn on the notifications. You don't want to miss a moment when we go live. You never know. I might go live for the Eagles game next week and do a watch party. I don't know. Never done one before. So you got to turn notifications on. You got to follow. You got to subscribe. And you got to hit the like button, share button, guys. I'd greatly appreciate it. It's free to do. Those alt uniforms were hard, though. Whose alt uniforms? The Bengals? Do the Bengals wear their all white with black? Because I love those uniforms. I really do. I would buy a Joe Burrow in one of those alt Bengals jerseys. I hated the Eagles all white jerseys last night. Absolutely hate them. What is up, reality check? Nothing like a wake and bake. I'm not waking and baking this morning. Coffee is what I got this morning. Maybe I'll do a wake and bake one Sunday morning with you guys. That's why you turn the notifications on there, because you never know. I might have to do that on my private personal channel though. I don't want to get all baked on the PSN channel. Be in the top 10 because strength wise they are probably still top 5. Well, they got to earn it. Yeah, the Bengals aren't it. Let's talk about the fans last night and what they were able to bring to it. It sounded at times like a home game for the Philadelphia Eagles. We know this team travels. And who wouldn't want to travel to Tampa? Maybe you travel to Tampa for the game, you hit up Clearwater Beach the day after or the day before. I mean, you can hear the Go Eagles chant. And I don't know if you guys saw it. There was a video floating around. I know Barstool put it out there of, I guess, before the game, the Bucks tried to put a flag in the stands and have like a whole section hold a Go Bucks sign. There just happened to be some Eagles fans directly in the middle of it, and they refused to help spread the banner out. And I loved it. The Eagles fans, for as much crap as we get, we are the most passionate fan base. And we didn't do anything harmful. And then what was even better was after the game, the video of Nick Sirianni going into the stands and shaking hands with fans. He was out there for an extra 5 minutes, shaking hands and high-fiving with Eagles fans. It did feel like, Kyle, it was a Philly home crowd. And I just love how we travel. Love how we travel. Hassan Reddick not getting sacks because Jalen Carter and Cox getting to the quarterback first. Hassan Reddick is now 3 games without a sack yet this year. I mean, he's come back from the thumb injury, so maybe that has something to do with it. We really don't have a lot of sacks on the year. We're getting pressure, but we're not getting home. Fletch had 2 quarterback hits. Fletcher Cox is having a career revival. I thought this was his last year, whether in Philly or in the NFL, period. K1. He's proven he's still got some juice left in the tank. And he's playing a high percentage of snaps. He's over 60 every single week. He's 68% of the snaps last night. Again, it was only 32 snaps because they only ran 47 offensive plays, the Bucks. But man, you gotta love it. You gotta love Fletcher Cox playing like a young man again. Maybe Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis, are giving him like a little oh, I got to keep up with these young kids. Look, I watch every game that I can. The Bengals haven't been good enough yet. You can't put a Bengals team in your top 10 after what you've seen. Now, maybe in a few weeks, maybe, but you can't do it after what you've seen. You can't put a 1-2 team that barely beat the Rams and lost their other 2 games in your top 10 just yet. They have to earn their way right back into it. Many Eagles fans, it was a home game. It felt like it, Daniel. It was great to see. Who doesn't love to see that? Phil, anyone can look at teams' records. I'm looking past the records. Joe Burrow hasn't looked good yet. There's reasons. There's excuses. It doesn't mean they're a top 10 team right now. It's power rankings are where they are right now, not where they'll be in 17 weeks. It's where they are right now. Who's playing the best right now? Shout out to Clearwater, St. Pete. Best area in the world. I'd move there right now if I could. Right now. I want to see the Eagles with blackout unis. I hate the all one color. All black, all green, all white. I like a little mix, man. You got to get a little mix in there. You do. So I'm sorry, it might sound crazy, but God Carter's giving me Aaron Donald vibes. I said it. Aaron Donald is like if Jerome Brown and Reggie White had a baby, and if you cloned both their DNAs and put them together, it would turn into Jalen Carter. Jalen Carter is a beast. Sirianni annoys other fan bases, which is another reason why I love him. What's there to be annoyed about with Nick Sirianni? The guy is a passionate coach. He's a good coach. He loves his fan base. He loves his players. And he's a perfect Philly guy. I don't know why other fan bases are just jealous that we found a diamond in the rough again. Just think about it. I mean, no one knew who Andy Reid was when we picked him up to be our head coach. We had dozen plus great years with him. No one knew I didn't know who Nick Sirianni was. It's insane. What's up, Dr. Chattanooga? Cox can play several more years with Carter Davis eating up double teams. Absolutely. Like, it's literally like a career revival for Fletcher Cox. I thought the guy was burnt toast. Like, I thought he was done. And he's got this extra energy because he's playing next to these kids and they're kind of giving him a little boost. Plus, they're taking all the double teams. I think last year Fletcher Cox was one of the highest double team players in the NFL based off of percentages, not physical amounts, but percentage of plays played. And he's not getting them anymore because literally Jordan Davis was double teamed on every single one. He was out there for 21 plays, double teamed on every single one. I guarantee that's how making it a lot easier for Fletcher Cox. I'm not a dork. I'm smart. I'm cool. I'm not a dork. Um, Mostly hear about Cox and Sweat. Josh Sweat, I mean, he's played great this year. He was pretty quiet. I didn't hear his name last night. I also didn't hear Brandon Graham's name much last night. Um, Brandon Graham versus Sweat, it's different because Brandon Graham's not on the field much. He was only on the field for 17 snaps last night, 36% of the snaps. But he's not playing much. He's not. We're not getting home. That's why you're not hearing these guys' names as much. Josh Sweat was on the field a lot. He was on the field for 68% of the defensive snaps. But still, you just not. They're not getting home, so you're not hearing their name. Brandon Graham had tackles. I have to bring up the box score. I had the box score off for a second because I wanted to look at some of these other stats from other games. But give me a second here. He might have had a tackle or two. I don't know. But where is he? I do not see. Oh, Brandon Graham did. He did have two tackles last night. Great. Good for him. Nick Sirianni is like 15. He's great. Nick Sirianni, there's nothing negative to say about the guy. Brandon Graham is quietly making plays. He drew a big penalty on a holding call against the Pats, plus pressure in key situations. Yeah, ends, ends and defensive ends and edge rushers, you don't really think of them if they're not getting sacks. It doesn't mean that they're not getting pressure. It does not mean that they're not disrupting the backfield on regular plays. It's not doesn't mean that it's not forcing the quarterback to roll out and change what he's doing on a certain play. You kind of got to look past the same thing with Jordan Davis. Jordan Davis had 3 tackles. Jordan Davis was a monster. Tackles is like ERA or batting average in baseball. It's a meaningless stat anymore at this point to really determine how much a lineman on the defensive line how effective they are. So Brandon Graham, yeah, I mean I'm not noticing him, but that's good. Unless he's going to get a bunch of sacks, it's okay not to notice him. It means he's doing his job. Other fans see Siri on screen and want to punch him. Well, I don't know how you could do that. I mean, they just see glimpses of him. They don't see him every day like we do. They don't hear from him every day like we do. They are just flat jealous. Nick is amazing. I love his energy, dude. I love it. I love it. But when he goes after the game, like you win a big game, you want to go in the locker room, you want to chat up with your players, you got a short week, short turnaround, you got to travel home. Yeah, I'm going to take 5-10 minutes, and I'm going to go into these stands. I'm going to shake every fan's hand that I can. How can you not love that? Thank you for, and it wasn't even just like, yo, what's up? He's like, literally, thank you all for coming here tonight. Like, there's something special about that right there. That's getting Philly right there. You sound like the mean blind guy from Boondocks that hates everything good. I don't hate anything. I do hate the white on white. I hate the Kelly Green. I hate the black on black. Black with white or black with green or green with black, green with white with green. I don't like all one color unis when they're all solid. Like the Bengals at least got the stripes going through it. I just think the all white last night. I just don't like it. I just don't. I need a little mix up there. Screw the line. We know they could play. How about Cunningham and Morrow? I said it. NFL reality check. We talked about the linebackers. I'll talk about it again. Um, when N'Kobe Dean comes back, he better play better than he did in his first week and a half because Nicholas Morrow is borderline earning that starting job over N'Kobe Dean. Morrow in a small sample size has played better than N'Kobe Dean in a small sample size, without a shadow of a doubt. Linebacker is not as big of an issue as we thought it once was. Zach Cunningham has an injury history, just like DeAndre Swift and some other guys on this team. But if he stays healthy, he's played fantastic so far. Fantastic. The linebacker core played really well last night. And you know what's great? They couldn't run on us, but they just kept doing it. They just kept trying to run the ball on us over and over again. I don't get it. I don't know what the play calling offensive strategy was for the Buccaneers last night. Coach McDermott is the only coach that kept me from being jealous. Sirianni and me bet McDermott's on the hot seat. They're lucky that they won so easily against Washington. The way they played the first 2 weeks, McDermott, they better make the Super Bowl or at least the AFC Championship game, or Sean McDermott's going to be gone at the end of the season. Uh, and, and I'm sorry, but if Cunningham keeps balling, it would be hard for me to bench him when Dean comes back. For both of them, it's going to be very hard because Nakobe Dean didn't look great. He didn't look bad his first week and a half before he went down, but he didn't look great. So Cunningham and Morrow have had two really good games. Nick, high class, he is. Um, I'm all with you, Phil. The alt unis are ruining football. I don't need 75. I don't need this to turn to college. I don't need 47 different uniforms that I have to buy to show I'm a fan. Like, I just don't. I'm not into it. I'm not. I like the midnight green over the white even. The black jerseys are cool, but yeah, I don't need all these different options. I really don't. Sirianni seems to really understand the importance of building a connection with the fans. Absolutely. Hey, the fans pay your bills. I mean, we're the ones that support the team through thick and thin. And I think he gets that we're not bad fans, that we're just passionate fans. I think he truly understands what Philly fans really are. Passionate, and that's it. Nick is a player's coach, a fans coach, and a media goofball. Absolutely. I mean, really lucked out. I mean, another notch in Howie Roseman and Nick and Jeffrey Lurie's belt there, finding a diamond in the rough. A player's coach, a fans coach, and a media goofball. I already showed that one. Did we? Did Eric's comment came up twice? Sorry, my bad. Eric, yeah, agree with Eric on that one for sure. As long as Bills get to championship game, they haven't every year. They should. I don't know. Bucks head coach looks too much like a turtle. Todd Bowles is a great coach. Who calls the play? Who's the? I don't even know who the offensive coordinator was for the Bucks, but the game plan for the Bucks last night, offensively speaking, was not good. I mean, they ran the ball 14 times with their main running back, 17 times overall, counting Baker Mayfield's one scramble for 17 times for 41 yards. They just kept, even on their last drive, down 2 touchdowns. They were still out there running the football. Like, you're in the fourth quarter, you're down multiple scores. You don't make committed effort to run the football at that point. I mean, seriously, I'm not sure what their plan was, but whatever it wasn't smart. It wasn't a good plan. They need look. I think the Bucks are a good team. We beat a good team in the Bucks, without a doubt, in my opinion. Their defense is strong. They're going to come back and win more games. I don't know what their schedule is and whatnot, but Baker is not bottom tier. Baker is bottom tier, but playing at a mid tier level. Last night, he was affected by drops last night. They showed the Bucks offensive coordinator on TV. He's a guy they brought in from Seattle to fix the running game. Well, that would prove why they tried to commit to that running game so much last night. Um, but they just didn't seem like they had a good game plan. They didn't adjust well at all. After a while, they should have just packed the running game in without a problem. You're good, Eric. No worries. I just start. I don't even look at the comments. I just keep clicking on them. We're at 195 comments here through the first 60 minutes. It's hard to keep up with them. Bucks offense was dominated. Hard to call plays when your O line's getting pretty much. We knew their offensive line was going to be a struggle. So sorry. Dave Countess is the offensive coordinator. That's his name. Okay. I have no idea who he is. No idea who he is. But again, like I said, I still think the Bucks are a solid team in a very weak division. And I think it's a strong win to be able to beat that Bucks team last night. Like, I know some will say we blew them out. I know some will say this or that. It's a strong team. That was a very, very good win on Monday Night Football, on the road, in bad weather. It was a very, very good win. Very good win. Bucks overachieved. Eagles are platinum standard at NFC. I'm gonna have a hard time not putting the Eagles number 1 in my power rankings over the 49ers. I know I have to put the 49ers number 1, but I'm gonna have a hard time not being the homer and putting the Eagles number 1 because they are the champ. To be the champ, you gotta beat the champ, and no one has beaten the champs in the NFC yet. So it's hard. Todd Bowles knew his team was outclassed by the second quarter. They folded early and saved their bodies for next week. I guess they got a division game next week. All right, I'll trust you on that. Um, yeah, I think they knew. I think they knew right away. I know one of the narratives was that Todd Bowles and the Bucks have beaten Jalen Hurts twice already, and he had never beaten the Bucks, but that was a different Bucks team with Tom Brady, kinda. That was a Super Bowl team that we're talking about that beat that Jalen Hurts twice. I think Todd Bowles knew that that was it, and yeah, they might have Baker bump. Look, I coming into the season, I would have agreed with you, but he's pitched well so far this year. Outside and honestly, last night, he didn't. He didn't play well, but he was 15 to 25, touchdown and interception. But how many drops did he have? I can count 2 tight end drops off the top of my head and 3 Mike Evans drops. That's 5 drops right there, and that's just what I'm thinking off the top of my head. So he did not get helped last night by the weather and the drops. Glad to see Todd get a head coaching gig. Todd Bowles, yeah, Todd Bowles. I mean, Todd Bowles is a great defensive coach, and I heard Nick Sirianni in the press conference afterwards say he's one of the best defensive coordinators ever, and one of the best defensive coordinators in football in the last 20 years. I forget how he phrased it exactly. Head coach, it's questionable, but he's got a good team playing well right now. And he's a great defensive coordinator. Maybe they should have been more aggressive the second half. They just weren't. Yeah, the Bucks let off the pedal really fast. They gave up really fast. Bowles already crashed and burned. Yeah, he was awful. But who was that Jets team? That Jets team was terrible when he was there. But don't you dare put the 49ers over Eagles. Not even close. Bills, Bengals, Dolphins. I don't know. They're playing pretty damn well. What's up, Travis? How we doing this morning, my man? And Steve, everybody's checking in late on Facebook. I love it. Morning a little late, but good win. Go Birds. Absolutely. Absolutely a great win last night. 28 people watching live right now. We got 25 likes on YouTube, 8 on Facebook. We are now at 9:12. We're about 15 minutes left in the program. Look, the rest of this week, we'll continue getting more into the nitty-gritty of last night's win, and we'll talk some of these injuries and stuff tomorrow. But today it's just about let's celebrate. Let's enjoy this big win because that's what we need to do. Enjoy this win. You come with that 49ers baloney and you're only getting one thumbs up. Hey, it's going to be very hard. If I put the 49ers one, Eagles fans will be mad. If I put the Eagles one, everyone else will say I'm just a homer. It's a tough call. I really got to think about it. Who's going to be one? I might go 1A and 1B and then 3 after that. It'll be a really tough call. And that doesn't count the Dolphins. The Dolphins got to be in my top 3. It's going to be the 3 undefeated teams will be in my top 3 without a doubt. What I know. It's tough. You can't win. You can't win, K1. You can't win, especially when you're doing power rankings and opinion based stuff. You just cannot win. Um, it is quite the conundrum because you know what? I don't like being a clickbait guy, but putting the Eagles one over the 49ers, I know a lot of people are going to call me a clickbait guy. I just watched that game last night. It's going to be hard for me to do it. I don't want to be that guy. I might be that guy. Just watch if I put the Eagles 1, the Dolphins 2, and the 49ers 3. Just watch what happens clickbait-wise if I do that. San Francisco people will be all up in my it'll be good for clicks. It'll be good for engagement. The 49ers are not that good. See, I disagree. The 49ers are a very good team. They're a very good team. So, who's Wade? I don't even see a Wade in the comments. Chiefs are best. Start there. The Chiefs have a loss. The other 3 teams do not. Chiefs are going to go 4 in my power rankings. I hate to say it. Fourth in my power rankings. I don't even have them written up yet, but we know where it's going to go. We know I'm going to piss a lot of people off with them. But anyway, back to the Eagles, back to the NFL, back to what was really quite an interesting week in the NFL. It really was. If you really think about it, all the games. Like I'm looking at it. It's so hard to after 3 weeks. It is so hard to judge who are the best teams in the NFL after the 3 undefeated teams because there's been a lot of good and really bad play so far. There really has been. Um, your brother might call you. Yeah, he might call me. I doubt it unless he wants some. Spoilers. Yeah, I'm dabbling in spoilers. Yeah, we play the Dolphins week 8. Um, Man, that's gonna be tough, man. That Dolphins, man. I mean, it's not just 70 points. It's just how they did it. Um, Chiefs are not undefeated. There's 3 undefeated teams. You got to put them ahead. I don't think you understand how power rankings work, man, chatter. Did I call the Bills win over the Commanders or what? I mean, I think pretty much 98% of non-Washington fans called the Bills beating them. Brother Stiefel with the beautiful hair, right? And the nicer beard. You're all crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Yeah, exactly. Um, my thoughts exactly. No offense, Eric. I love you, buddy. One of the OG original Core 12. But man, anybody could have seen. I mean, maybe not everybody saw it being like 37-3 or whatever it was, but everybody knew Washington was losing that game. Washington, it's crazy because Washington. I was thinking about whether Washington was a good team going into the weekend or not, and the trajectory. As since we're facing Washington on Sunday, Washington is dropping drastically and fast. The Eagles are still ascending. That Washington team, I just don't know how they're going to stay competitive. Talk about a team that might be fluky 2-1 team. Washington might be a fluky 2-1 team. I got you. Um, I like that. Yeah, absolutely. I'm not concerned about any team in the league except for the Dolphins. Man, I mean, but Denver's defense is not great. Could you imagine? I can't wait. I want our team to be healthy for that Dolphins game because I want to see what Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter can do against that Dolphins offense. That'll be the first real litmus test of this defense. I mean, this defense of the Eagles is elite. How elite are they? We're going to find out week 8 against the Dolphins because you got to worry about the 2 running backs, Mozart and the other kid that changed how he wants his names pronounced. You got Tyreek Hill, you've got Jalen Waddle, you got Tua. You got 5 amazing, amazing players right there. It's going to be a battle, but we need to be healthy for it. That is the key. You're going to have to be healthy. Um, will Tua even be played? I mean, look, K1. I don't know if you mean that sarcastically or not, but the joke is funny, but also the seriousness of the statement is funny because it could go either way. I swear, like he's similar to Joel. That I don't care how healthy Joel stays for the Sixers. I will always worry he's going to get hurt. Tua, 3 years from now, he could go the next 3 years without missing a game. In the back of my mind, I will always be thinking, will Tua get hurt again? So it's a legit question with a little comedy behind it, in my opinion, because you're always going to have to worry about Tua. Tyreek Hill is like Swift at wide receiver. Um, Dude, it's like Tyreek Hill is like a video game cheat code. And look, Darius Slay, James Bradbury will have their hands full in that week. But we can't worry about week 8 just yet. We gotta worry about week 4 against Washington. We gotta get another W next week. I can't wait for a 1 o'clock game without a doubt. Cardinals beat Cowboys, they better. Look, I might still have the Cowboys in my top 10. Maybe. I doubt it, but maybe. I said how the Bills were going to beat the Commanders, and they did it. Maybe I missed that. Maybe I don't remember that. Do you think something's coming? I know I'm late, but maybe we're already addressed it. Look, Jalen Hurts looked better last night, but he hasn't looked perfect this year yet. Some of it he's just being too aggressive. Some of it is him, you know, people. Some of it's him being, too aggressive. Some of it he's just making mistakes. Last night's mistakes weren't on him. He looked good. They weren't. They were on him, but they weren't on him. So there's a little bit of everything. A little bit of communication. Still learning with Brian Johnson. I'm not worried about Jalen Hurts. Not yet. I think I saw enough positive progression from week 2 to week 3 that I'm not worried. And like I said earlier in the show, Travis, the one interception, the first one, it was just miscommunication between him and DeAndre Swift. He wanted him to go left, Swift went right, or vice versa, whatever it was. And on the deep ball interception, it wasn't double coverage like people thought. It was just actually an underthrown ball that a defensive back made a great play on and then made an even better catch on. So I'm not worried about Jalen Hurts yet. Now, come back to me in week 6 or week 7. And if he's still turning the ball over at this rate, then we can talk. But right now, I'm not worried about you at all. Told you the Birds would mash the Bucs. Yeah, but it kind of felt close, even though it was a blowout. So, I don't know. And he had flu-like symptoms. Let's not forget he threw 270 plus yards. Ran the ball. He had the flu. So you got to give him that as well. Phil, of course, Cowboys are top 10. A bad game does not mean that much. It means something. It means something to me. Cowboys are trash. Dude, Adam said to me last night, Adam in the comments section, he sent me a message last night and said that he had Cowboys fans saying that they're already calling for Trey Lance down there in Dallas. I was like, what? What? Does Dallas really want Trey Lance as their quarterback over Dak already? Because if that's true, that's insane. Dallas is a nightmare. Dallas will always be good, but Dallas will always be a train wreck. As long as Mr. Jerry Jones is still in control of that team, Dallas will be forever a train wreck. They will never recapture their 90s glory. You think Hurts is going to have a good night's sleep all 17 weeks? He's going to be sore. Not only is he sore from the flu-like symptoms, he took some big shots last night. When he wakes up, he's probably already at the gym. He's already done 2 hours of workout, probably. He's probably doing squats on the airplane ride home. But his body's going to be sore today. There's no doubt about it. He took 3 or 4 really big hits last night. Dak has choke-like symptoms. Seems to be the case. Who would have thought Kazir White and Kayvon Wallace would have beaten the Dallas Cowboys in week 3 for the Eagles? I mean, it's great. I'm not going to make any more complaints about them, at least for next week or two. That was Jerry Jones's plan, to get Dak benched for Trey. I guess. I mean, it's insane. It's insane. Adam's going to chime in with it. The Cowboys fan I know said he wants Dak gone already. And I have a feeling too many Dallas Cowboys fans feel that way. And it's pathetic. Dude, no offense to Trey Lance. No offense to the Cowboys. I don't want to make this about the Cowboys, but man, Dak Prescott's 10 times the quarterback at this point than Trey Lance is. It's hilarious that that's even a conversation. Prescott, who is who we thought he was, the interception machine. Yeah, he's not throwing 10 interceptions this year. He's going to throw like 12. It's crazy. Bills sweep the Mutts. Eagles go 3-0. Now for the exactly. Let's wrap up the wild card tonight. If they do, I know I won't talk Phillies. You guys hate the Phillies, but what I'll do is once the Phillies have the wild card 1 seat locked up, whether it's tonight or tomorrow, I'll do a special edition of this show in the afternoon, talking Phillies and playoffs for the Phillies fans out there. I'll do an extra show in the afternoon or night for the Phillies, so that you football fans don't have to hear me talk Phillies. Burrow throws a bunch of picks and no one is in Philly reacts like he's a bad quarterback. Come on, man. Enjoy the win and be patient. Hurts going to be. I'm not as worried as people think I am. I like to read more into why the interception was thrown, and I will say, and it could be the rush, it could be a lot of things, but Hurts was under on quite a few deep balls last night. Allen had a disease. I'm gonna have to break you out of this fearful state. I don't know if I'm in a fearful state. I'm cautiously optimistic. Dak is 20 times better than Trey Lance. Dak Simmons, possible. Dak. The problem is Ben Simmons was afraid to shoot. Dak's not afraid to throw the ball. He knows it's going to get picked off, but he's not afraid to throw it. They get in the playoffs, so normies can watch on TV. I will want some Phillies. All right. Well, we are in the playoffs. It's just a matter of whether we're the number 1 wild card team or the number 2 wild card team. That's all. So next week there's playoff baseball. And let me tell you something. This show will have baseball talk on it once the playoffs start every day. Don't you get this wrong. We'll be going 90 minutes every day that there's a Phillies playoff game, because 30 minutes of every day is going to be talk Phillies baseball. There's no doubt about it. I love my Phillies way too much to not give them a little attention during the playoffs. Without a doubt. Hell, I might be doing 2 shows a day, during the Phillies playoff run. Might have to. Hey, hon, I need the week off. Yeah. Anyway, it's time for us to start the wrap up. It's 9:25. We're going to cut this show short by 2. I went 5 minutes early. I'm only going to cut short by 2 minutes or so. But we do got to start the wrap up process. I got to get into work early this morning. Wait, you mean the show could go 90 minutes every day? Dude, if I could get the viewership, we got 26 likes on YouTube, 8 on Facebook. If I could get this show to a point where I can get some sponsors, we need more views, more shares, more likes. got to make some money. I could do 2 hours every day. I would go 8 to 10 every day, but I got to make a little bit of money if I'm going to do that. So we got to get the viewership up. We got to get the core 12 into the core 24, and then we've got to have 50, 70 people watching live every day. We got to. We can do 2 hours every day, but I need you guys to help me promote this show, build the volume of this show. We had over 250 comments today. We need where there's over 350 comments every day. We got to work about that. You start talking baseball, viewership will tank. Not come playoff time. Once it's playoffs, it's a little different of a story. There will be baseball talk every day come playoff. Not a whole hour, but there will be a minimum of 30 minutes of baseball talk every playoff game. I'm just telling you. It's the way it's going to be. Dak is afraid to succeed. Maybe. I still like that. Keep trashing Gainwell and drop further. Yeah, that's right. That's right. I got you. I won't crush Gainwell anymore. You get viewers by streaming games. I'm going to. I'm going to stream a game, whether it's this Sunday or one in the future. We're going to do a live stream of an Eagles game. I haven't figured out the logistics on how that's going to happen yet, though. Go Birds, ring that bell. That's right. That's how we're going to end the show right there with Kyle's comment. This is Trending in the AM right here on Philadelphia Sports Network. We're live. If you're watching on replay, I check every comment. Make sure you hit that like button. I will respond to everything. Another final comment. Eagles are a dominant team. They have 4 competitive games all year. Yeah, we'll see. We're going to wrap it up right there, though. We'll be back tomorrow, 8:15 regular time, for more Trending in the AM, more Eagles talk. Everybody have a great Tuesday, a victory Tuesday, as the Eagles beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 25-11 on Monday Night Football. For Philadelphia Sports Network, I am Phil Stiefel. You all have a great day, and we'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Go Birds!